Genius Insomniacs, Bruce, the coolest nerd you know, and I want to talk about privacy and information. This really came from two stories that I ran across today that I find a little bit interesting. One of these stories comes from The Intercept, and it's a 120-page catalog from a British defense firm called Cobham. I'm going to place the link to the actual article down in the description below. And basically what they found in this catalog, and this was a leaked catalog, so we know what leaked means we weren't supposed to see this, but it's a good thing we did, right? We do know that this catalog was made available to local law enforcement and military here in the United States. Now, the only issue I really have with this is that local law enforcement had an option to purchase some of the products in here. And let me just kind of spell it out for you. One of these devices can actually jam cell signals within a small area. The other ones can do things like a police officer, or they say a military personnel or police officer can place the device in their pocket and target a person and actually follow them, and it'll point to where the person's going, so you can follow a person. Sounds all great and, you know, Maxwell Smart. And then but the real problem I have is a couple of these devices actually collect information indiscriminately. May have a problem with that. I don't know, you may not have a problem with that, but what I mean by collecting data indiscriminately is that they can point this device in an area or place it, you know, in a tower or go in a building. If they're looking for Marlo Stansfield and you happen to be on your cell phone nearby, they can hear your phone call, they can intercept your text messages, anything that you send out on your phone while they're looking for Marlo Stansfield. Now, if, say, this was an FBI investigation and they got the proper warrants to go after a particular person, that's one thing. And we all know that the NSA collects everything. The only problem I have is that local law enforcement, say if they're looking for Marlo Stansfield or Avon Barksdale, if they're looking for these people and then they use these devices, let's say they run across my cell phone conversation and I might just be acting crazy and saying whatever I want, just saying crazy stuff in a text message or on a phone call. I might even be writing some comedy bit or I might be writing some silly ass skit for Genius Insomnia. Who knows? They can listen to my devices as well. I don't really feel too comfortable about that. And I know people try to say, well, if you have nothing to hide, then you really shouldn't worry about it in the first place. Look, I might feel good about how I look in the shower. It doesn't mean I'm putting a 6-foot window in my shower. You expect some right to privacy, but it seems like it's being infringed upon more and more. And by the way, this catalog actually shows that some of this stuff was marked back in 2014. So some of your local law enforcement may have these devices right now, although they vehemently deny having these devices. They may have these devices. A case back in 2011 where a Stingray device, which collects cellular and text traffic, ACLU filed lawsuit in order to get court document for the FBI to admit that they actually use this device here in the United States. If you want to use it, you know, overseas to hunt for Red October and James Bond and all that, just feel free. But local law enforcement, here's my problem with local law enforcement. They may have local bias, or they may have quotas to fill. So if they're listening in and they grab you, I mean, how are you going to know that they use this technology now? They didn't use a warrant. They could use this against you and, you know, you're stuck. So it's not always good to say, oh, well, you just trust that they'll use it properly. And I think it really points to people's expectation and rights to privacy, even from the government and especially from local law enforcement. I mean, this kind of goes back to the Apple versus FBI case. How do you feel about this? Sound off below about that. Leads me to the other interesting story that I ran into. When you go on social media, there's an expected level of privacy, and there is to a certain extent, unless, let's say, you send me, you know, a juicy photo and I decide to go to my day job and run around in circles and show it to everyone. Now your privacy has been violated, and you should have known better. I mean, I'm gonna make jokes, I'm gonna do whatever. But anyway, I'm just kidding. I'm a good friend. I'm a great friend. You can send me anything. Matter of fact, don't send me anything. Just know I will not share anything that you send me privately. And no, that's not an invitation to send me anything that I don't want to see. We already had the McChicken thing go down on Twitter this week. This story here is not so much about the privacy, but more so about information. There's a company called Social Index. They're based in Sydney. Their whole existence is to provide a social media graph for employers looking for potential employees by showcasing your posting frequency, your level of influence, times when you post, times you post the most, how many likes, how many pictures you have up. And they put this in a nice little PowerPoint-ish graph. Then they present this back to the potential employer. The way it works is you say you would go to a job interview. They would give you this link after the interview. You go into this email link. There's a two-step verification. It logs them into all the social media. And then for 24 hours, they aggregate all this data together in a nice little neat package. The notion behind social index is sort of like the same unfortunate notion from state level assessment tests of public schools. It's wildly inaccurate. I mean, think about this. Some people use social media to connect with the world and to express their issues and just really give everyone a piece of their mind. When that Facebook status box says what's on your mind, these people stand up, they answer the call and tell exactly what's on their mind, even if you have no desire to hear what they have to say. Other people may use social media, such as myself. It's an entertainment platform. Honestly, don't know what I do professionally outside of these videos by following me on social media. I may bring up a topic or two that may be important to maybe me or maybe other people. I may just want to get a conversation going. But what about the person that has a private profile that only sends cat photos to their cousin? How much information are you really getting out of that person's profile? And included in this is how often you post and when you post and all the frequency and whatnot. Johnny posts the most between 11:31 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. I mean, for all we know, Johnny's on the shitter for 14 minutes, posting like it's going out of style. That doesn't really tell you much. I mean, the company says that, okay, well, if a person posts a lot and it's a social media job or a job that requires you to be an influencer on social media, they can say, well, they post a lot, they have a lot of engagement, therefore they'd be good for the job. Let's say the job is to be some bean counter in the back room. Well, if you post a lot on social media, then they think, well, no, we can't use this person because they're not good. But that kind of negates the fact that, let's say the company has a policy where you can't have cell phones at work and they block all social media sites. Therefore, it really wouldn't matter. This whole idea, while they may have great engineers who have built this, this graphing software and this social media, data and analyzing bullshit, it sounds more to me that these people really don't use social media, or if they do, they're preying on most corporations' ignorance to social media. That's really what this sounds like. It sounds like they're just preying on the fact that these companies don't have a clue about social media. Yeah, the 68-year-old CEO, he doesn't care. He doesn't know anything about social media. And the information they collect, it sounds like these people are pretty ignorant too. But that's just my take on it. I don't know how you feel about it. Like I said, I just think that it's a very bad way to get information. Pretty much we're automating something that's been done since the beginning of corporations, and people say, okay, I want a job, and okay, somebody says I want a job, and you bring them in and you interview them and you try to get to know the person or their persona that they give you for the next few minutes and read their resume, and then you just have to make an honest decision. This graph is really foolish. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. I mean, if the company wants to spend it, it's a waste of money. At the end of the day, I think it's just another way for people to disconnect with each other. Not saying that too many companies are just connected with all their employees, but you're definitely showing your disconnect in the hiring process by even using this sort of technology. But that's just my take on it. Sound off in the comments below. Let me know how you feel about, either one of these situations. Like I said, privacy and information, it's always a touchy thing. I mean, you can mislead yourself by collecting the wrong information, and by invading someone's privacy without context, you might find something that leads you in the wrong direction. I don't know. Like I said, sound off. But I'm ending it right there. If you like any or all of this video, make sure that you assault and abuse that thumbs up button. If you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. And if you don't follow me on Twitter, make sure you follow me at Tweet Insomniac. Snapchat BZ Bets, Instagram BZ Bets. But that's the end of this video. I'm out of here. Like I always say, I'm Bruce, coolest nerd you know. Might get that 6-foot window in the shower though. Might be something to think.